You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
We were at 5 with a stop on Anthony Edwards, going the other way with numbers, and we turned it over. And I think that led to a 15-0 run. They got an and one off of that. Our guys were playing with great aggression right there. We were the aggressors going into that fourth quarter with a stop on Ant. Did a hell of a job on Ant tonight. Give him, he's such a good basketball player. But Bryce and the group did a heck of a job on him. They followed the game plan. Going into the fourth, get the stop, going the other direction. So a couple turnovers. Then we got a little stagnant against the zone. We slowed our pace down early in that fourth. We missed some layups. We missed some bunnies. They got aggressive in transition. That was the game. But our guys never gave in. Our guys continued to battle.
You all won the third quarter. I think it was 28-26. How do you back out?
I think we won multiple recently.
Well,
If you look at our track record recently, we're winning third quarters now, which is a plus.
Did you like the way you played?
I did. I thought we came out with aggression now. It's, that had been an issue for us, and now we've turned that thing. So we got to continue to stay focused in third quarters. Obviously, they came out aggressive in the first quarter, made some threes and got going. So a couple, high scoring, 35 they scored in the first quarter and then 37 in the fourth. Defensively, we got to be better in those two quarters. But, we just got to continue to keep fighting. To me, we're handling the board much better. Our transition defense got to continue to improve. We got to continue to stay with our aggression defensively right now. We turned them over 20 times to our 12. So we're trying to win the math game in certain areas. But obviously the 3-point line cost us, tonight, but we're going to continue to chip away at that.
How do you feel like Carlo played?
Yeah, he had major impact. His energy, his pace. We played with a lot of pace. I was looking at the numbers when we just came in, and our pace numbers are extremely high. And a lot of that, Carlo, when he's in there, changes our pace immediately. So play with energy on the rim, rolling. Defensively, he can move. He provides a different element to our offense and our defense.
Just going back to those threes, Trey and Sadiq went over tonight. I know that can be frustrating, but you have to sometimes remind yourself, that's just sometimes variance. It's going to be an unlikely event that those two go over at the same time again.
You got to just trust that those guys, more times than not, they're going to knock those down. I trust both of them, and high quality shots too. I think the threes we're getting are high quality. Do we need more volume? Absolutely. And that's on me to continue to push this group. We're touching paint as much as anybody. We got to find those two, especially more high quality threes or more threes in general. But I trust them to knock it down. Those are high level shooters, and that thing will continue to turn. But we've got to try to, I would have liked to seen 5 to 6 more threes out there tonight in general. And we'll watch the film and continue to coach our guys on that, because we are getting downhill as much as anybody right now in the league. It's now about rim decision, kick out opportunities, I'll keep saying it till we figure it out, but we will figure it out and find some more. But I'm not worried about Trey and Sadiq. They'll bounce back.
Going back to the pace, your average time per possession has steadily been dropping.
So this is up to date, right? Mostly. I mean, last year.
Just how much of that is being able to inbound the ball quickly, whether it's off makes and just get going?
Well, I think the inbound is really important. You know, your offense really starts either on the rebound. That's really what starts it. That's when you become fastest, right? Is when you get an offense, you know, some type of defensive rebound, you're gone. Those are probably going to be your fastest possessions because you're up the floor, obviously, and we're looking for kick aheads. Where we're finding a lot of valuable possessions is after makes, getting the ball out quick and finding these jets up the floor, whether it's Jose or Fears, and they're gone. We're putting pressure on you right now. So it does start with that. There's got to be a mentality, get the thing out quick, get the ball up the floor, which is we want to move the ball up above the free throw line. We want to start advancing it, going the other direction. So yeah, to answer your question, I think, you know, a big part of it is the quick inbound and get it up the floor.
What did you think of Jeremiah? It just seemed like he was super aggressive right from the start and just all around again that he had.
Yeah, I thought he was great. I mean, he set the tone for us. Our pace was set with him. He was a one-man fast break. You know, he's downhill. I think even after a make, he just went coast to coast one time. What's that? After a free throw. Yeah. So like he's a one-man fast break. There's a couple of these guys in the league. You know, we can go through probably 3 or 4 of these guys in the league that can do that end to end. Ja being one of them. Fox, you know, over time has been that guy just to go end to end, coast to coast. He's one of these guys that can do that. And he's going to be a big part of us generating those threes. But I thought he got off to a great start, set the tone. I think we scored, 30 in the first quarter? Probably could have had more, but he was a big part of our pace and aggression overall in the first quarter.
And coming in tonight, I think team shooting was about 42% from 3 in first quarters. Tonight, I think you made 3 of 6, 5 in your first 8. Do you have an explanation for that? Why you guys get off to seemingly good starts from 3-point range and it really just kind of invariably quickly goes downhill?
I wish I had the answer. No, look, I think we're finding high quality shots early. In a lot of these first quarters, we're finding a lot of high quality shots with probably our pace and ball movement tends to be a focal point early in that first quarter. I feel our guys moving it. I think our challenge now as a team offensively is can we sustain it through that third to fourth quarter? I feel like we're doing it in thirds. Now we got to trust it even in fourth quarters, continue to keep that pace up. But I like the way our guys are playing in the first quarters. They're moving it. They're sharing it. The biggest thing is you got to get stops in that first quarter, right? We gave up 35. I'll take 30 all day. I mean, 30 and we got to hold them to, 30 and below, go win that quarter. And then we go score 32, 28, 26, we're hovering in that range. So we got to do a better job getting off to better starts defensively. And that's really the key for us.
How do you feel DQ's been handling all the different defensive schemes that you're throwing at teams? Like, you're trapping in or you're playing him at the level. Sometimes he's dropped, sometimes you're in zone. Just navigating the different asks on a, I guess even quarter-to-quarter basis.
I think he's doing great. This is all new for him. We're trying to keep the pick and roll coverage as simple as possible. So meaning he knows we all know where he's coming from. Now we might be more aggressive than not on certain pick and rolls, but we're trying to simplify it as much as possible. He's probably got a couple coverages he's got to call out. That's new for him. But if we can limit to two coverages, that simplifies it for a young bigs who's getting put in every action. But I think he's handling with a lot of maturity and growth. And I thought tonight he took another step forward in his pick and roll coverage. He's much more active. That's what I want from him. I want those ball handlers to be uncomfortable with him up there. He's got great hands. He's got feel. And I'd rather him be the aggressor right now. And I think he's doing a really good job. And the guys on the ball have done a pretty good job too, but we're trying to scramble and move on the backside. But I think he's growing there in that pick and roll coverage. Good. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all for being in this episode of PPR for all things Pelicans, representing the flocking nation. Stand up. Big QDC in this PPR Final report. Pelicans, man, they lose this matchup to the Timberwolves, man, 125 to 116. Once again, it's a fourth quarter situation where the Pelicans have done a pretty good job of fixing the third quarter issues. But like we saying, it's that dreaded phantom quarter that we ultimately talk about, where it's one of these quarters that just seem to just move all around. So James Borrego has to be tasked with fixing that, man. Pelicans play well enough to win, but just when it gets close in that fourth quarter in clutch moments, things just kind of fall out of it. Some questionable decisions in terms of lineups toward the back end of the game. We'll talk about it in this episode of PPR. DC, welcome on in, brother. How you doing tonight?
Oh, cold as hell, man. Cold and wet. It's crazy day and night. But the Pels, they did what we thought they were gonna do. We pretty much said this last show. But still got that rolling quarter, Q. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. That's that phantom quarter, bro, we talk about
It
all the
ain't the
time.
third quarter no more. It's jumping from the first, the second, and the fourth. And they doing their best to not make it to the third.
That damn phantom quarter, DC got them tonight, brother. He got them again. I think this is the fifth straight loss the Pelicans have, man. And we go to 3-20.
I feel like about 10 straight losses.
Because it's a lot of losing, brother. We've played in a combination of 23 games. We have won 3. We are 3-20 after this loss, 2-11 at home. That's a lot of losing.
Good teams, did we? All the teams we beat were all losers too, right?
I want to say that's true, bro. I want to say that's true. We haven't.
I think that maybe Chicago won a few games, so. But
yeah, I think they were plus 500. That might have been the one team because we beat the Bulls. We beat and we went to back-to-backs with the Mavericks and the Hornets. So that's the 3 wins we had. We beat the Bulls pretty good by 13. We barely scraped by the Mavericks by 2 when we beat the Hornets by 4. And ever since then, we've just been kind of fine. Actually, it's more than that, man. I mean, well, it's about 5 games now. Yeah, it's a 5-game losing streak, man.
We could be at least about 7-15, 7-14, something like that. If we won the damn games we were supposed to win. But tonight, just another weird collapse, and it's really just they can't handle pressure, man. You got rookies, trying to lead in key moments, so I guess that's gonna be a thing that you got to work through. But no Trey Murphy in the fourth quarter again, pretty much. He's got to force some shots. They were playing pretty tough defense on him, man. DiVincenzo was running around all over him, but he's got to figure out a way, I think, to get past this mental block, man, because it's almost like they get to certain points and when they feel like the game is, I guess, slowing down or it's getting in a crucial area, they just start panicking, man. They can't find offense tonight. They were playing defense, though. But even with the substitutions, I don't understand what Borrego was doing with Carlo, maybe because he was back. Carlo was actually playing pretty good tonight, and I just couldn't understand for the life of me why we couldn't see him with Derek Queen in no type of lineups. I thought that was real weird. I know he had Bryce out there because he was helping do a good job on Anthony Edwards, so maybe that's it. But if you told me Anthony Edwards scores like 11 points and he just scored 44, I would have thought the Pels would have been able to win. But apparently not.
Yeah, a lot of that's going on nowadays, bro, to be honest with you, with our team, man. We just can't seem to, and you're right, we got young players there and inexperienced players that's showing a lot of promise. This is some of the things that we can kind of take from this as we move forward. Of course, I don't think any of these guys that's currently on the team, and of course, I kind of thought, Borrego would be more of a force insofar as like galvanizing the team, organizing them, and getting them to play, correctly and solving a lot of these issues. It's not just the young guys like Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears and Peavy, and now inexperienced guys like Bryce McGowans and Trey Alexander. These guys are actually pretty good players. I'm really impressed with those guys, to be honest with you. They are outplaying our veterans, right? We know Trey is really starting to get back on tap with his game after the injuries. Jose Alvarado is just what Jose is. He gives a full effort any chance he can when he's healthy to do so. And Sadiq Bey has just been Sadiq Bey. To me, I think we'll talk about this later on in the broadcast. With some of the rumors coming out now about Zion Williamson, the Pelicans having him out there on the block and all this kind of stuff. We'll talk about Brett Siegel, the inside NBA. We'll cover that later on in the broadcast. But it's just positive to see what's going on with the Pels, and so far as that is concerned, right? The guys that came over to help us here. But in terms of just them putting it together in a winning effort, yeah, it has to be. It's frustrating for us. So I know the players, man. It's just they got to be just like, wow, man, we just can't seem to get anything right. And at some point, you get pissed off and won't do something about it. You want to work extra hard just to break the streak, but to play 23 games and to have won only 3 of them and sitting up in here at 2-11 in your own building, that says a lot, man. So, hey, man, it's just we're gonna cover it here on the show. So let's just kind of delve into it, DC, and if you don't mind, we're gonna just jump right into it. Y'all hit the like button, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the streams as well. Much love to all the fam. Pelican Nola, good to see you out there. Miggy 20, I see you. Jaden, shout out to you. Yes, Jaden, it is my fault, bro. For the Pelicans are 3-20. Yes, sir, it is my indeed. I will take responsibility. TFP, shout out to you. JBS, what's up, fam? Appreciate you as well. J. Cov, Daniel. Barry, shout out to you. What's up, Angel? Shout out to Angel. Owakta Cuz, Octwaktu. I hope I'm saying that right. He said, I'm tired, boss. I know, brother. I'm tired. Steph, shout out to Steph. The Queens out there. Much love to the Queens. Brother Slim is in this thing. All right. Salako 4. I hope I'm saying that, man. Shout out to you. If I butchered your name, I'm sorry. Ross, shout out to you, brother, as well. I appreciate y'all for lending us y'all valuable time as we discuss this team, man. That's these stats, DC. And Pelicans tonight, 43 of 95, 45%. They shot 7 of 25 for 28% from downtown. They went to the foul line 26 times, hit 88% on them, 23 of 26. They did have 43 rebounds. The Timberwolves had 49 on that thing. They did have almost 30 assists in the matchup, and they did have double-digit steals, 11 to 5. They were outblocked 10 to 3. Kept the turnovers down. 12 turnovers, 16 points given up versus 20 by the T-Wolves, 23 points there. Fast break game. They did not win 23 to 16, but they had a really excellent game in terms of points in the paint, 68 to 52, which is a pretty good thing. Now, they led by as much as 5, but then ultimately T-Wolves took it over and kind of pushed it in a different direction as we move forward. As you can see, the ghost quarter, once again, was the fourth quarter, the money quarter. In the individual statistics, Phil Murphy led the team in scoring. He was tied with a 3-way tie in terms of minutes. Trey, Bryce McGowan, and Jeremiah Fields all played 34 minutes in the game. Sadiq had 33. Trey had 21 points, 7 of 17 from the field. He was 0 for 5 from downtown, so he didn't hit any threes. He was off on that point, but he got to the foul line 8 times, 7 of 8. 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, plus 2. So Trey overall game was there, except for his 3-point ball didn't fall tonight. 20 points from both Sadiq Bey and Jeremiah Fierce. Sadiq finished with 20 points, 8 of 17 shooting. He couldn't buy a 3-point basket either. He was 0 from 5 from downtown, but perfect from the foul line. He had 6 boards with 3 steals in the game, plus 3. Jay Fierce, 34 minutes, 20 points, 8 of 17. He was 2 for 2 from downtown and from the foul line. 7 rebounds, 6 assists. 6 assists game by Jay Fierce, and he had a couple of turnovers there, plus 5. Very positive numbers right there. Then, of course, McGowan's in 34 minutes of action. He had 15 points. He was 5 of 12 shooting. He couldn't buy a 3-pointer either, 5 of 6 from the foul line. 3 rebounds, 5 assists from him in the matchup as well. And then, of course, DQ. 29 minutes, 12 points, 4 of 9 from the field, perfect from the foul line, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He had a steal in the game, was doing what he does. And then off the bench, good to see Carlo Mekovic return. He played 19 minutes, 8 points, 6 rebounds. He had a couple of dunks on some people that I like, some high flying dunks. Good to see him back in there doing his thing. Carlo back in business. Jose Alvarado, 22 minutes off the bench, had 13 points, 5 of 8 shooting, 3 of 5 from downtown, 3 rebounds, and an assist for Jose Alvarado. Peavy got some minutes. He scored no points at 15 minutes. He was 0 from 2 from the field, did have 4 rebounds and assists. Jordan Hawkins got 16 minutes, finished with 7 points, 2 of 6 from the field. He did hit 2 3-pointers, 2 for 4, 1 from 2 from the foul line. He finished with 3 rebounds and an assist in the matchup. So,
He actually was
outside of
looking
that, DC,
serviceable, man.
yeah, not bad, not bad. He even tried to crank it. He got knocked down pretty good, but
Had a
but
nice
in the
little
end,
block too.
yeah. So he really kind of working and trying to get back in that place. And of course, on the other side, the top big scorer, Julius Randle for the T Wolves, 28 points and 9 rebounds from him on that side. Ant-Man finished with just 11 points in 31 minutes. He was, doing his thing. He had 8 turnovers in the game. Nas Reed off the bench, 33 minutes, 19 points, 12 from Jalen Clark, and so on and so forth. Timberwolves did enough. Now, it's tough to beat a team, fam. Listen, I guess it ain't too tough for Minnesota, but anytime you play a team back to back in their building and you able to come away with a victory in as many of as a couple of days, we don't often see that, right? We see the team have more of an effort. They solve something, then they kind of push forward. But this Pell team is another level of dysfunction. But DC, let's hit into it, man. What you got?
Yeah, man. I just get straight to the player statistics. Don't make no sense going over the team stats. We know why we lost. Is that the run in the fourth quarter, they just collapsed and crumbled, man, once they got down by like 4 or 5. But man, Trey and Jeremiah Fears is a weird stat line, man. They damn near got the same stats. You know what I'm saying? They're doing what that is, the Spider-Man emoji where they be pointing at each other. Huh? But thought Trey had a solid game, man. But obviously he was the difference. Him or Fears, man. One of them would have had to take off in this fourth quarter for us to be able to win. It's almost like they overthink it a little bit, man. They be playing good, moving the ball around, and then they get to these moments where things just get tight and don't nobody know what to do. But good individual performances from those two. Sadiq Bey was pretty solid tonight too, as usual. I mean, he's just doing the same thing. I mean, on the season, he looked like he's gonna be averaging down near 20 points. He got a lion's share of the shots too. All 3 of those guys were 17 shot attempts. Thought they had a solid night. Derek Queen would have liked to see more from him, especially in 29 minutes, man. Got to take a little more than 9 shots, especially when you got to the line 4 times and made all your free throws. Bryce McGowan was solid again, but solid and good and okay just ain't enough, man. We need some good performances all the way across the board, but can't really say the starters played horribly, man. Everybody kind of showed up and did their job, but tonight we just didn't really get enough from the bench. Micah Peavy had a rough go of it tonight. Defensively, he didn't do a whole lot. He got you a steal. I don't remember him flashing on a lot of plays. I mean, he only played 15 minutes, but Trey Alexander came in and really give you anything. Hawk was pretty solid, but he's still a defensive liability. But he gave you some decent minutes. And Jose, came out, looked like he was having a solid game, and he kind of went down. I think that was somewhere in the fourth quarter. I think Jose went down. And then he, no, that might not been the fourth when he went down. Was that the third? And I think he came back in the game. He looked like he was dying as usual. Ran to the back of the locker room, and I think we saw him back out there. But Oscar.
That's a dramatic little dude, man. Every injury is like somebody. Bro, it's like. And listen, I'm not making light of the man being hurt, but man, every injury is basically the same look. Like it's like, okay, somebody might jam their finger and be like, you see a little teeth. but it's like every time he gets hurt, it's like really painful, and it's like somebody amputated his arm, somebody, kicked him in the nuts. It's always something on that level where it's him rolling around on the floor. And I'm like, damn, this little guy here. But I know Jose's tough, but it paints the image like, man, this dude just, I don't know. But yeah, he had a what appeared to be he had his hand wrapped, DC. So I mean,
Yeah, he
he
already
looked like
went back.
somebody might have kicked it. So I don't know.
No, he dove for a loose ball. And when he
Didn't his
dove for
hand
a
get
loose
caught up in
ball,
there?
yeah, I think it was Julius Randle. He like hit his hand or something, and then he was holding. I'm like, damn, Jose dislocated a finger, or he broke his finger or something. Maybe he just dislocated it. Because he got up and he ran straight to the back. So,
Yeah, he ran. He ran,
but the
sprinted
way
to
he
the
went
back.
to the back, I thought that was. I'm like, damn. Well, guess we gotta
He
have
ain't wait
somebody
for the
else for the
train.
injury report.
He sure didn't. He ain't wait for the trainers. He just like, man, let me go just run right on up to it. But
But
yeah,
some
this
guys,
is
they don't get their do their dislocation on the sideline. Some people run straight to the back.
yeah, I mean, whatever it take, man, for him to get right, man. I hate seeing him look like that, man. Just rolling around in pain and shit. That just makes me feel bad for the man. Anyway, let's kind of pivot, man, and do this, man. Let's jump to this next thing that we got going on here, where we'll kind of talk and discuss what's the next thing we have to face here, which is the whole matchup we got against Brooklyn. Let's cover that, DC. What about this Brooklyn match?
Well, I think we can maybe get a win here by default, man. It's two teams who really don't have a plan for a strategy on being able to win at this point right now. Although I would say out of all the players, they probably would have the better player right now, and Michael Porter Jr. He's been playing awesome. As we kind of knew, that would happen, and we talked about the idea of trading for him and stuff, but he's over there in Brooklyn getting a lion's share of the shots, and he's not disappointing. But outside of him, they I guess in a lot of ways you could say they're kind of like us, right, Q? They don't they don't have a true
Yeah,
identity from what I
yeah,
can see.
they're like 2 wins better.
They don't have a point guard, really, somebody who kind of can get everybody set up, but they got some talent. They got some people that can score the ball and have some interesting players, but they're just not doing a good job of putting it all together. Oh, I forgot it. Igor's over there, so they do have a point guard. My bad, misspoke, but he's a rookie, still figuring
He's
things out.
struggling. Yeah, he's struggling,
Yeah,
bro.
he probably was. He was, on paper, man, and just what he's capable of. He's probably the best passer in the draft. Some people would say he's a better passer than Derek Queen, right? Although his stats aren't showing it right now.
That's the 4 assists a game ain't cutting it.
Yeah, yeah. We don't know the whole story though, man. Sometimes certain guys develop different, or maybe he's just not that good in the league. He might not be able to transition. But in college, he was averaging probably, I think, double-digit assists, or at least 8 or 9. But you got Michael Porter Jr., man in the helm, as you can see right there. What Cam Thomas doing, Q? Pull him up.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull him up.
I've been hearing a lot about Cam Thomas this year.
And by the way, Michael Porter, they got him out. He more than likely probably will return against the Pelicans. That's
Yeah,
usually how
yeah,
it
come
goes.
on, man. Yeah, he gonna come back. You're not gonna get hurt playing the Pelicans. Just come on back. Hey, you're a good game. That's what happened. I mean, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, I don't see Cam on here, man. I'm gonna have to pull and see what's going on with Cam. Yeah, but
Maybe.
Clowney, I know a Clowney. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. He's not even listed here, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up, bro. Nick Claxton is there as well, but they saw Porter as the team leader in terms of the offense flows. Dreamy averaging 25 points a game. We'll see more than likely come back against the Pelicans. That's what they always do. But they're a 5-win team, DC. You think we get a win against this team? Got to go up there to get it.
I definitely think we get a win if Michael Porter Jr. doesn't play. But if he's there, man, it's a 50-50 chance. Just like the matchup indicator got it. It's probably the highest win percentage we had. But it's two teams with no identity, man, just trying to figure it out. So they definitely can take it. But just with the Pels, man, at this point, I can't trust them to say they're gonna win, man. They just find new interesting ways to lose. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's who really wants it? You know, maybe we do win because we actually have an incentive to actually win. And Brooklyn is probably just, they got these guys on their team trying to see what they're going to do and packing it in for next year. So they don't look like they serious about trying to do anything this year. I mean, neither are we, but we actually would want to win the game. I think they're just trying to get their stats over there, bro.
Yeah, it's very interesting to be honest with you, man. Because what I see from the Pelicans, like some of these games, you can see they really want to win the games. It's just like it's a confidence drop in certain clutch moments. Like they lack a closer. Like we had, some of the really solid teams when things go really bad and they need the game to be closed out. We don't have that guy. Like we don't have the guy playing that's healthy right now that's willing to accept the closer role. That's in there in the moments that know we need a basket that can get the basket. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to score right now because this team's on an 8-0 run. We need to get, we need our closer, our big clutch maker, the shot maker to come in and break the run to be able to, to close out the game, to finish out strong, to take the possession of the game and say, I got y'all. We're going to take this to victory. The team gets you to this point and then the closer closes out the game. We don't have a guy that's filling that role consistently, right? We got we thinking Trey's the guy. We paying these guys a lot of money. It's not Zion. He cannot stay healthy. I think the team is pretty much done with him. One of the biggest supporters of Zion since he's been here. And things. Even I had to say enough is enough when he got that last injury. And and all this kind of like enough is enough. We can't keep doing this. This is 7 years in. That's over with. This is either you get it right this year or we have to cut bait and run. Joe Dumars did a good job of getting star talent, not one dude and say, hey man, we got one guy, we're going to do it. This dude went and got two guys that can actually build, and that should help the progression of the team move faster into it, being that we have Trey Murphy who could play with those two young guys. They can control and flow the game. I'm really impressed with our rookie class. I'm impressed with these undrafted guys like McGowan and this other guy, Alexander. I like what Carlo Makovic is doing. Jordan Hawkins is starting to step his game up, and then we fastly starting to see that a lot of these $30 million players, whether it's DeJounte Murray or Jordan Poole, who was who was brought here via trade to help the Pelicans along with Zion Williamson. Now that Zion's not going to be a part of that mix, that kind of says, okay, we're going to do this method. We got to move these guys out. We can gain some more extra picks or maybe a player that can complement these guys. And then ultimately, we assume the players are like we assemble the players' family. And then ultimately, at the end of the season, we get rid of this entire coaching staff and start again and get a reputable coach that can come in and guide this team forward, which should have been what happened at the beginning of this season. It's just delayed by a year, and that's complimentary of the style of non-intelligence that we deal with from this leadership group. So, yeah, I would have to say I think the Pelicans do ultimately get the win over them. But then again, DC, if your boy comes back averaging 25 points a game or whatever it is, yeah, he could be difficult. And by the way, Cam Thomas is still out. He has a hamstring issue, left hamstring strain that he's being reevaluated. That was the time frame over a month ago. So, we'll see what happens with Cam going forward. He's another piece of the puzzle, too. He's another 20-point scorer that will fit well with what they got going on there. So these are two mirroring teams. They're a couple of wins better. But if you're the Pelicans, you're hungry for a win, you got to get this one from the Brooklyn Nets. They I ain't saying they're giving you a toss-up, but this team obviously is on your fairly level of playing that you have to be able to take. Well, they fail and fumble and stumble in late moments of the game too. It's just who can be more competent in these incompetent moments for both of these fairly ass teams. So this is a game this is a medicine game, DC. This is a medicine game. Them people 5-17 and they are 1-2 in their building. Hell, at least we got two more wins or another win. You see what I'm saying? It's two fairly teams, man, that stumble and bumble away at the game. Why can't we get it? So it's 3-20 against 5-17. This is too ridiculous. So they're 1-9 at home. I mean, away the Pelicans, and the Nets are 1-10. So it's basically a toss up, and even the matchup indicator has the Brooklyn Nets. They don't believe in the Pelicans at all. But I'm thinking, man,
I mean,
hopefully
should
we
they?
get there. Well, hey, bro, I'm just saying, if two fairly stumbly, bumbly teams, why can't we get it? They need this game to break this 5-game losing streak and kind of reset things. Let them feel how know how to feel when it gets that win, and maybe that can create something a little bit better as we go forward. But when you meet these type of teams, the Brooklyn Net team struggling like you are, you got to capitalize, bro. You got to, man. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Oh, I think they definitely could get it, especially being in Brooklyn. Because looking at the games on TV, which I don't understand, man. It's why they highlight. It's almost like the lights be looking bright as hell. You can see all them empty ass seats in there.
I know they be keeping it nice and tight on camera. That's like an old camera trick they've been doing down here, fam.
No, I'm saying that it's nice and bright. You can see it. QS. What about them teams? Sometimes it look different. Like you don't really be seeing a crowd like that. Like where they
You
have
saying the Nets?
No, I'm talking about the Pelicans.
Oh,
They might
okay.
be able to win going to the Nets because what I was getting at is the Pelicans not having no fans in that, man. That's got to be a little demoralizing. I would think. You know what I'm saying? You coming out there to play like nobody don't really give a shit right now. It probably don't bother the rookies much, but guys like Trey and other vets and it's got to be a hit to your confidence in some way, So I think going on the road, especially right now, might be better for them. It gives them something to rally behind. Maybe they're a little more locked in. Everybody's not home. They kind of all out there together. So maybe they do get a win, man. I mean, if they missing Cam Thomas and Porter Jr., man, they should definitely win this game. We would have the talent advantage, right? Who's their coach? Will we have a coaching advantage? Borrego ain't horrible, but I mean he's not as big of an improvement over Willie Green as I thought he would be. But
well, I still say because you're really scraping the bottom because Willie Green is the worst. He was the worst head coach in the league. So I mean, but the Borrego is a guy that has the coaching. I believe that he has the coaching acumen. It's just a lot. It's just a lot that DC. Jordi Fernandez is the head coach.
Shorty Fournette, yeah, I don't know
He's
nothing
he's
about
a
him.
Spanish professional basketball coach who was
Oh, I remember him as a player, I think.
So
Okay.
Fernand, yeah, he is the Brooklyn Nets coach right now.
Maybe we got a coaching advantage, bro. So we just gonna have to wait till Saturday and see. But there ain't no more hopium, bro. Like nothing is guaranteed with the Pels at this point. And you touched on it before, saying they kind of need somebody in the fourth quarter to take over. Yeah, that's what it is when you don't have an identity, man. You can have that player that will take over and still don't have an identity, but they got that, and they still not sure how they want to play. And when I say they're not sure how they want to play, obviously they know they want to get out and run. But when teams switch it up on them and stop them from running, like when Minnesota tonight went to the zone and they kind of slowed up some of them fast break points and some of their points in the paint, which was really crazy though, because they still were getting good looks at the rim. They just couldn't make layups. But you got to have somebody, like you said, that can take control, take over, take command, and just go on a 6 to 8 point run almost by themselves, maybe 12 points or so. You were expecting Zion to be that guy, but can't stay healthy. So without him, Trey don't look like he wanted. He's gonna be I think comfortable being a 2 or 3 in the league. I don't think he's gonna be able to make that leap to be a franchise face. I hear some people saying, Trey gonna be the face of the team and all that. I don't really see it. Maybe he's the spokesperson for the team or the vocal face, how you see him in the commercials and all of that. But man, there's nobody here You need somebody to take over, and Trey he never will. You need him to force some shots sometimes, man. He ain't about to do that. Trey about to pull a BI. I see you, Slim Salt. I don't think he gonna do it, man. He ain't got that type of makeup, man. Mentally,
Man,
I think he's a good dude, you know, wholesome guy, family guy, and he want to play basketball the right way. And I was telling my partner this too. It's like you usually don't see somebody who wasn't looked at as being a superstar come into the league and turn into a superstar. You can see somebody turn into an all-star, but if you wasn't like in high school or as a little kid or even in college, looked at as the number one player, like Trey wasn't raised with that mentality, and that's a lot to be trying to talk about gaining that in the NBA.
yeah, it's we drafted Zion Williamson, and it has not. I mean, if the guy has money when he's healthy, but it's just like certain aspects of it, like would help Zion Williamson. If you know you're a person that can't really stay healthy, then you would still retain your strength. But as you age into the NBA, you would during that time, the 200 something odd games, he missed more games than he played during that period of time. When you're in practice, you're getting paid to be here. Then certain aspects of your game would have severely developed, right? We know that in practice, when you have enough, because I know at times when he had certain hand issues or whatever, and when he was good to go, the extra time that you sit or be chilling, and if you can able to do something, then you would have been working on aspects of your game. Like we harp on and go back to the mid-range game, having that as an aspect of your game. Like that would help keep you healthy. It would kind of keep you away from the wear or tear of being physical against bigs, because if we do a Zion, let's ask the flock, man, the intelligent flock, how many times a game does Zion get knocked on the ground? Could y'all? What's the average on him getting knocked to the floor? Y'all, could we say 5 times a game realistically when he plays? Because he gets no points unless it's around the basket. And y'all work with me because I'm building the point here. How many times a game does Zion Williamson get knocked on the ground? I mean, I would have to estimate it's either
At least 10 to 15.
Well, I'm conservatively. Wow. You say 10, DC?
I would say 10 to 15. Yeah.
Oh wow, I was being more conservative. I would say at least 4 to 5 times a game.
Oh hell
Gets
no!
knocked to the ground conservatively. I was
That's
just
the first. That's just the first. That's the first half.
See, yeah, Nola Chop. Shout out to you, man. Nola Chop says 5. TFP says that. That's what I see. At least 5 times a game, 4 to 5 times a game, Zion gets knocked down. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's either staff or whoever's developing him. That's why I'm for firing all these coaches, because these guys were picked by Willie Green. These guys are not pushers. They're not guys that's really pushing these players to be better. Like Zion Williamson really should have had a mid-range shot that he committed to, because I don't understand why it didn't register in his head. He gets knocked down all the time. You say 10 times a game, I can actually see that.
I gotta stop you there.
Hold on, let me finish my point, because this is the what I'm getting to.
I just want to touch on that one thing.
I'm gonna give you a chance, but let me finish because I don't want to lose this. The reality, what I'm saying, bro, is why I'm bringing that up is because as a player, this man been in the league for 7 years. He's missed more than half of the games that he was supposed to play, and for whatever reason, he's still at 7 years in, thinks with as injury prone as he has been, thinking that he can go among the trees and battle with those guys, get knocked on his ass. At some point, you would develop a mid-range shot because it's intelligent. They're playing off of him, DC, at least 5 to 10 feet. They pack the paint and he give him all of that room. And this guy still goes down there, gets knocked on his ass. So at some point, either the coaches or somebody had to get it. He the one that's taking these injuries onto himself. He got like, man, listen, I got to do this shit differently. I've heard even great players or smart players in the league develop a mid-range shot because they don't want bang all the time. If I can pull up on an easy, it's almost like a free throw for the guy when they leave it. It's a free throw for him. if he developed the shot. For whatever reason, this man has not done this in 7 years. Injuries or not, he still had all this time to practice to develop this shot. And I can't totally put that on the Pelicans. That's something that he had to work through. Like, man, at least I'm getting knocked on my ass. I don't get most of the calls. And finally, let me just be smart about it. If I develop this shot, then they'll come out to guard me, and then I can go around them because they can't stand in front of me. The big got to come out to me. That'll give me a lane and make life easier for me. This guy doesn't even think like that. So I don't, and like I said, the whole thing with the Zion Williamson situation with the injuries is a lot of that falls on both him and the team. But at this point, you got new leadership in there. It's time to shake from him. And he'll probably go somewhere where a smart coach will say, hey, bro, listen, you get hurt all the time, you will develop a mid-range shot here. Somebody going to get that guy and force him to develop a shot, and you'll see him progress somewhere else where it's competent. We can't, these guys that's here, Willie Green is a cancer. He's gone, but there's still remnants of his bull and his crap and his losing aura and energy there that's on this team. It's infected some of these players. Some of these players got to go. So, I mean, like I said, man, so that's my point on the Zion Williamson thing. We'll cross over. But go ahead, DC, you got it. Whatever you want to talk about, go ahead.
First off, Zion definitely hit the ground more than 5 to 6 times. 5 to 6 times is just the ones he gets.
I'm just saying at least. I said at least.
Powerful. But
I'm saying at least. But that's scary, though. You're saying 10 to 15 times.
Yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it's not that much. But we'll meet in the middle at 8. I just agree on that. But I don't think it's on the coaching staff for Zion to develop any of that, man. The coaching staff, to me, far as the developing players, that's for role players, in my opinion. When I look at guys in this league that Zion was supposed to be, hyped up to be on the category of, you think Kawhi Leonard was strictly just focused on the Spurs training staff to gain his shot? Man, all the stories I heard about Kawhi Leonard as far as his shooting, they say that dude worked on that like a maniac. Him. You know what I'm saying? Even Trey Young. And what he's able to accomplish, his passing ability. Man, there's so many stories of him getting all type of players to go and they doing the in the sand workouts with Lonzo Ball and all these other, and most of the players he's saying working out was like, man, well, damn, all of them motherfuckers can pass. So they doing something. You can look to Herb Jones. When we had Fred Vincent in the building, why Zion wasn't getting no shots up with him? I'm sure if Zion went in there with Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball to get up shots, you think Fred Vincent was going to say he couldn't work with him because I got to work with Lonzo and B.I.? No, it would have been all three of them. Why Zion wasn't in there? And you can go with so many other examples, man. That's on him. Players in this league, they develop their games on their own, especially superstar players. They get their own type of team. The man got a gang of money. What's stopping him from getting his own developmental coaches? What MJ say? MJ just had an interview and they talked about all the guys getting hurt and what do you call it? The injury management when I forget the term we use, but he was like,
load management.
Load management. Guys work out or whatever they got to do for 3 hours a day for basketball. You only gonna practice and it's 3 hours. What are you doing with the other 21 hours? So I can't give Zion that out as far as you putting that on the training and development staff with the Pelicans. But I think that is definitely a deficiency we have, and it's horrible. And but more or less the training and development staff, I could give a guy like maybe Jordan Hawkins out like that, or some of these other guys that they ain't on the level of Zion. They don't have that type of paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And we watched Trey Murphy, who we know how bad this developmental staff is. And we watch Trey Murphy get better and better every year and every year, every year. Well, he's going in the offseason, doing all type of stuff, trying to get better. He still ain't figured out, dribbling yet. I hope he get with the right team to develop that. But Trey couldn't even shoot the mid-range. You remember that? When Trey used to come in the lane and he'd shoot that little mid-range shot and it looked all stiff and weird.
I remember.
Well, he actually looked smooth and fluid shooting his mid-range shots now. Trey wasn't no hell of a passer. The man had 8 assists tonight. Constantly working on his game, man. So, I don't know. You said that, bro, it just kind of triggered me because our argument always was Zion didn't need all that because he was so dominant in the paint. But once you see your body keep breaking down and your efficiency is dipping with it, like, man, you got to be able to, kind of tailor make your game to fit your skill set in the situation. And Zion gonna figure it out. It almost looks like I used to hate this comparison, but the more I'm looking at him, I don't think it's gonna be exactly identical, but I see the Blake Griffin comparison. He never had a Chris Paul though. So Zion, I would say at his highs is probably better than Blake Griffin, but I see the comparison. And I wouldn't be surprised if when he leaves here, he do just like Blake Griffin did and just take off. Like, you remember when Blake Griffin went to Detroit?
Yeah.
He was balling out. Zion could be the same shit, man. But just like Blake Griffin, will his career get cut short by the injuries? Because that was very short-lived for Blake. But he was playing at a damn near all NBA level for maybe about a season and a half.
Yeah, I think I said that. I think I gave the blame to both. I think it was both Zion and I don't lean one more way to more than one than other because they come into the team. It's up to the team to get the proper coaches with them, get the trainers. They have all the resources. The team have all the resources to develop these players and get them on code. Zion Williamson coming into the league, he has to have a pro mentality. First 2-3 years of it, he's going through the motions, developing, get to this point where by year 4 and 5, there's certain aspects of your game you have to be, it has to mature. And the mindset of thinking that you can just, do what you do in the paint against these teams all the time and you get knocked down on the floor all the time, it hadn't subsided, it hadn't gotten his head. So at some point you can obviously see that they're not developing them as well. So at some point a coach has to see that and direct them, say, hey, you're going to I'm going to put you with this guy. You're going to work on this. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. This is what we're going to do, and guide him in that way. Because sometimes the play, like I said, I put it on both of them because even if he is not getting that from the team, he obviously is paying attention to the rest of these people out here who he has admiration for, whether it's LeBron or whoever in his that he sees currently in the NBA getting it. A guy that can, score from, anywhere. If he obviously is not comfortable shooting the three, I would not put him in a position where he had to jack up a three because he doesn't look right shooting them. But at the same time, from a mid-range perspective, to make it easier on yourself, that just makes all the sense in the world. That's chess right there. I don't understand why he didn't develop it, why the team didn't push him to do it, but it's all the failure. I put both that on him and the team. When he goes somewhere and they finally move him to another team that has an idea of what to do with him, then you'll see him grow just like you see former players that are doing good elsewhere because people know how to use these players. Whether he's healthy or not, DC, they're not playing through him. They weren't playing through him when he was healthy.
Because they need one thing, man. I like the point Zion thing, but I never really leaned to him being a point guard full time, right? But Zion is the type of player, he needs a point guard. And we never gave him that after Lonzo, man. You need a pass first point guard with Zion, man. And they never
Man, regardless or not, DC, how does that have anything to do with developing the mid-range game? Because you don't have a point guard
That
right
don't
now.
have absolutely anything to
Okay,
do
that's
with
what
it.
I'm saying. That's a whole
But
nother discussion. What you
no, I'm
talking
talking
about?
about what you talking about as far as him going somewhere else and people know how to use these teams because having a point guard would, it would cover up a lot of those deficiencies. Zion can attack a little bit more or a little bit less, however you want to look at it, because he can actually get that 6 to 8 points of easy baskets every game. Then you calculate up what he can get from the line, and then those points where he's just forcing shit in the paint is a lot less. But he need to do what he need to do to become a more complete player. Obviously, I'm not arguing against that. I'm just commenting on your point about once he leave here, if we trade him wherever he goes, I guarantee you they're gonna pair him up with a point guard. There's
Yeah,
rumors
but
right now of Chicago sending an offer to us, trying to pair him up with Giddey. That would actually work.
that's the whole point. What I'm saying, it's not just that. I mean, whoever you, because if you're gonna use a Zion Williamson, you know what he can do. You know what he can do if you're another team. You visualize him in the plan. Uh, the coaches, whether whoever they were, like we could say Stan Van Gundy was the one that really seen. He was the one that birthed the idea of Point Zion. He was the one that seen Zion as a mismatch nightmare who had the ferocity to get to the basket anytime he wanted. If Stan was still a coach, I think ultimately he would have had the Zion on a trajectory where he would have been more of a complete player because he would have challenged him on that. So we've been had Willie Green for 5 years, and Willie Green don't know. He didn't know what he was doing. He was not developing these players. He was barely doing the basic stuff. He had a staff that was really, I ain't gonna call them men dumb, but they were inept. These were some inept coaches. If you look up and down that coaching staff, them assistant coaching staff, none of these guys stand out in any real capacity. I like Corey Brewer as a player, but I don't like him what they have in a role as no assistant coach. He doesn't, what he does not stick out any kind of way. It's not anything that people are bragging on like you had Coach Fred. And he been doing it. So most of these guys we have, I guarantee you most of these guys will not be retained in the next staff. I can't go with any of that. So you clear out half of it. That what's left to be done with away with is all these coaches, and let the next man come in. He gonna bring a total different group of people in here who won't buy into all of this nonsense about congratulatory things and with teams and losing efforts. The moment you stop thanking them and praising them and losing efforts and start really getting that tough love to these guys and getting them to lock in, you'll see a lot of this change. Stop thanking these players in losing efforts. That's stupid to do that. Now you don't want to ride down, you want to lift them up. Their method is not working. That method hadn't worked for Willie Green. It don't work for Borrego. Stop thanking these fucking players when they losing. If you won't thank them publicly somewhere. But don't come out in the public and say, yeah, you did great and you're losing. And you're
So you
three
want
and
to take
20.
them privately, bro?
Yeah, thank them privately, bro. Give them a card, a present, whatever you want to do. But stop thanking these players out and really need to stop thanking them, period. Stop thanking people and losing efforts and the team is 3 and 20, bro. Cut that out, man. You can't play, you can't train them to play 4 full quarters of basketball. You need to do that if you're going to sustain winning. If you can't do that, then shut up with that thinking stuff. 3 quarters is not enough to win basketball games. 3.5 quarters is not enough. Case in point tonight, you have to do a better job of locating when you have like situational moments where you've put people in positions where, okay, you're going to be this guy here, you're going to be this guy here. He played enough of these players to know what they do best. He has an idea of what guys can do best. And this is what he needs to figure out. But maybe he won't ever figure it out. Maybe he ain't equipped to figure this out, and they understand and already know they already lame ducks on a sinking ship already, which means their fate is already decided. And I think a lot of them men know that. I know Zion knows that. DeJounte Murray know that. Even Herb Jones, to a degree, knows that. Why would I be keeping Herb around with Sadiq Bey is out playing? I mean, Sadiq Bey is playing and should get his money. Herb can't stay healthy. He breaking down too. Plus, he ain't the dog he used to be. Whatever he became, he lost a lot of that. He been, like I used the term, domesticated, because he ain't that beast no more. Herb Jones ain't that man no more. Sadiq Bey came in here and made y'all remember what it was like where Herb was and he's fully developed. He's better on the offense, totally better player in my opinion, and cheaper. So at the end of the day, something has to change because we need dogs. We need to change the blue collar nature. We talked about AD got up there, DC. And I'm gonna give you a little chance to kind
Kendrick
of comment
Perkins
on
got
that.
up there. Kendrick Perkins
I've
got up
seen
there
it.
too.
I was talking about that, and you can see AD kind of came alive and was talking to Perkins, and he talked about the mentality, and he heard this before because he be listening to a lot of these streams. A lot of these guys dip in and want to know what the people are thinking, as opposed to them sitting up there covering these network games. You tap into the feel of what the people are doing, and the best way you do that is you can't go and listen to everybody. What they say, you listen to these podcasts, and you'll get the feel for what people are feeling or thinking about this team. And he hears this all the time, especially here, is the fact that a lot of the teams, a lot of people believe the team should mimic the spirit of the region in which they play. This is a blue collar, resilient city. We don't fight. We don't give up the fight. We handle our business, and we do what we got to do. This team should represent that region. This should be one of the roughest, toughest teams. When you come down to the Smoothie King Center, you're gonna feel like you was in the blender. You're gonna feel like this type of thing, this type of mentality. But they do not do that. This was a soft team. They continue to play soft. They continue to give up. They're not very intelligent in the clutch moments of the game. And I know we got young people, but prior to the young people, they were doing the same stuff when we had the veterans in there. So I mean, in the end, what I'm saying is strictly is like, man, a lot of this has to be cleaned up. Like Joe Dumars really needs to, just sanitize this whole thing. Get rid of these coaches. These coaches are not good for us. They're not teaching none of the grittiness. We shouldn't have Jimmy Butlers and Draymond Greens and these type of players calling the Pelicans organization soft, even though they are. But you should take offense to that. They play around too much. They too smiley. It's just you. How you this chipper and you 3-20? I just don't understand why you that and everybody else around you that's spending their hard earned money to support you is pissed, and you stand up there smiling and chippy and joking and all this, man. That's untenable. People don't like to see that, man. You 3-20. How you smiling and chipper and losing every damn night? But go ahead, DC. Go ahead. I'm gonna jump into the Zion stuff, man.
Well, I mean, I ain't got nothing to say on that, man. You got it, brother. I'm ready to jump into the Zion stuff, so we ain't got to prolong the show. We already an hour in.
All right, let's do it then. This is a
talking
report
for 3 hours about losers, man.
Well, DC, let me stop you because you do all this talking. Shut up, DC. Let me talk. All right. So anyway, here we go.
Shit, I just was being quiet, letting you talk. Now you want to tell me shut up, nigga? I'm gonna talk. Let me read the goddamn article. Goddamn it! Nah,
go ahead. Go ahead. Read it. Now read the article with your full chest. Go ahead.
All I can see is sources. Zion Williams' situation beyond repair with the Pelicans, open to trade offers. It's about that time of the year, Q. That's what this shit tell me.
Man,
it's every year. It's the same shit.
DC,
we know Zion ain't get traded right now.
Hold on, let's get DC a round of applause. He did real good on that. Shout out to my dog DC. Yeah, that shit with confidence. Shout out to DC, boy.
Get up to $1,000 in your new account. How about that one, man?
DC.
I don't want them claps. Put $1,000.
All right, this is from Clutch Points, man. Zion Williams' situation is beyond repair with the Pelicans, so expect Joe Dumars to deal with trade rumors until deal is made. So this is something that shout out to Dotson. He's basically sourcing information from NBA insider Brett Siegel, who kind of threw this information. He was one of the ones that put this out, period, about what's going on. Pelicans find themselves at a crossroads. Once promising era centered around Zion, teetering on the edge of collapse. I think it's over with, fam. What began as a story of untapped potential has devolved into a saga of constant uncertainty, trade rumors, frustration, reevaluation. League sources indicate that the tide has fully turned in this Crescent City, marking a pivotal shift in the season's direction. What once felt like a franchise carefully orbiting around all-world wonder now resembles an organization prepared for life after him. which is, like I said, shout out to Joe Dumars when he came in here. He traded CJ McCollum and others to pick up Poole and Sadiq Bey, who came in. Now Poole is not doing what we thought he was going to do. He's still hurt with this injury, but Sadiq Bey was everything we thought, even outplaying some of the guys that were here, and you know who in particular I'm talking about. And also the drafting of not only just Fears and Queen, but Peavy as well. These were really solid moves. So he knew that was the fallback option. These two young players help Zion win, or Zion, if he can't step up, he out of here, and we'll pivot to them with Trey Murphy and whoever else he won't keep around. So Joe Dumars set himself up, man, to have some options. Saying goodbye to Willie Green was only the first necessary yet largely symbolic step in what many believe is the beginning of a full house cleaning. The Pelicans are 3-20. Just cannot buy a lucky bounce is showing up in the standings. From suffering 3 demoralizing blowouts without half the roster available to Williamson walking to defend gut-wrenching game winners for opponents. The blown opportunities are numerous. All of the misfortune to begin this year have also taken a toll on the team's overall morale. With Williamson sidelined for another 3 weeks, it's going to be full. With a right abductor strain calls for a definitive split. It's going to be 4 weeks, fam. Y'all know how they extend this stuff. Both inside and outside for the Smoothie King Center. The next major domino resulting in Williamson's departure is all but inevitable. Multiple league sources told Clutch Sports. It's all starting to leak out as well. Joel Myers did everything but release a name-dropping mixtape during a recent broadcast. One league source expressed a belief to Clutch Points that, quote, the first decent, reasonable offer, end quote, made for Zion will be acceptable. The same source noted the haggling with Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver would be, quote, minimal, end quote, at this point, so as long as there is some tangible return. However, the path to a deal likely requires the Pelicans to sweeten the pot with their most coveted role players. That will take some finesse, and it seems everyone is being cautious about a very hard to calculate gamble. Williamson's diminished value is common knowledge throughout the league, yet no team has rushed forward with an offer. The Pelicans find themselves with minimal leverage, a reality that has left Dumars and Weaver hesitant to aggressively shop their former cornerstone player before December the 15th, including defensive stalwarts Herb Jones, along with pieces like Yves Missi or Jose Alvarado, may be necessary to exit Zion business altogether. Alvarado is one of the few Pelican role players who have generated trade interest during the early portion of the season, according to sources. Herb trade connected to Zion trade rumors. Herb has been one of the most coveted two-way wings in the league, and the Pelicans have turned down multiple trade offers for him through the years. The Lakers, the Warriors, among a handful of Western Conference teams actively exploring ways to acquire Herb, league sources told Clutch Points. J.J. Redick, Kerr have never been shy about their prediction for the avid fisherman from Alabama. Likewise, Williamson market is cold. The trade value for Trey remains robust and unchanged, a testament to his clear fit on a contender and all-star potential. There is growing belief that Murphy III will be pushed as the face of the franchise, akin to the public MVP campaign former EVP David Griffin once made for Drew Holiday. Dumars was ridiculous with other front office this summer, asked the reporter Desmond Bain trade package in exchange for the 25-year-old sharpshooter, as one source said in June. Multiple first-round picks, a certain contract, and a decent prospect are the starting points in any bidding for Murphy's III's services. This is a price that has not changed and likely won't anytime soon. The presence of scouts from Detroit, Brooklyn, New York Knicks, and Atlanta in recent week underscores the league-wide anticipation of a fire sale. This shift points toward a full rebuild, a process the city understands deeply. All right. Zion's trade is a matter of time. New Orleans embraces a committed rebuild involving an ugly demolition and ground floor finagling better than most, as evidenced by the recovery post-Katrina. Conversely, half measures have always hunted the Pelicans and New Orleans Saints, with unfinished projects and unfulfilled promises lingering like tatering blue tarps on forgotten rooftops. Similarly, Williamson's game is unfinished. On-court issues haven't improved in 6 seasons. The Duke alum still refuses to shoot threes. The mid-range game, something he once worked on intensely with Witherspoon for years, remains absent. Williamson's scoring is efficient but predictable. Defenses know what's coming. In the modern NBA, predictability from your max salary star is a ceiling you can't coach your way through. Every title contender recognizes why Williamson will not work with their system. Finding someone needing to swing for the fences to make the chance without burning bridges or costing anyone's jobs is a delicate matter for a front office being laughed at through the national press. Dumas and Weaver may be burning the midnight oil, but meaningful negotiations have yet to materialize. Behind the scenes, there is a sense that the Pelicans still want to see what comes their way, but they have yet to aggressively shop their star teams still. Tides have turned, not with a wave, but with the slow, exorable pull of an organization choosing to move on, even if it means paying to make the pain stop. The question is whether the Pelicans will embrace a true reset or remain trapped in the late lottery section of the NBA standings, maybe making the play-in tournament once or twice here or there. For a franchise and a city that deserve better, the time for one of the most difficult decisions a front office must make has arrived. The only question remains is whether the Pelicans will have the courage to make them decisively in December, January, or whether this will become yet another half-finished project in the city that's seen too many already scraps at the trade deadline, akin to the Brandon Ingram trade. New Orleans is finding out that moving a star at his lowest value is both painful and expensive. Unfortunately, the question is no longer if the Zion era ends, it's when and how much it'll cost New Orleans to break free. The hesitant, cautious, and increasingly attentive trade market understands the moment is coming. The Pelicans wanted the prep phenom to be the center of everything. Instead, Williamson uncertainty became the center of a whole bunch of nothing, at least when considering personal or postseason successes. All right, so I had to give y'all all of that one, man. That was a really interesting article by Clump. Yeah, that was a really good one. DC, go ahead, bro, and give your thoughts on the Zion, the trade.
The one thing I can't wrap my head around, I hear a lot of people say this. They keep talking about it'll cost Herb or Trey Murphy to move Zion. Like, we can't just cut him. Like, we don't have to attach anybody to move him. Like, they could just cut him outright if that's what they won't do. So I don't be getting that standpoint. But like I said, to cut him outright, I mean, I don't see the point in that either. You can get something. At this point, it looked like another anticipation for a lot of nothing. Zion could possibly be moved during the season, but we know it ain't gonna happen no time soon, even if that's the case. I mean, he's not healthy right now. They're gonna at least let him get back on the court and try to do that. And I think ultimately, if they are getting any phone calls about him, they probably won't pull the trigger till the offseason anyway, because they don't know what team's gonna have what slots as far as the picks. Obviously, nobody's probably gonna give you a top 5 pick for him or nothing. But you could get, a mid-round possible first if he proves he's healthy. And what does it benefit you to, I guess, trade him right now for nothing and give up Herb or Trey to get a minimal return? So it had to be a fair offer that somebody presents. I actually heard that being thrown around. I don't remember what article that was. They say the Pels were willing to take the first fair offer that's put up for Zion. There may be some truth to that. But far as this situation that he's speaking of here and attaching these players just to move Zion, I don't think that happens. If it's that serious and they just want to cut ties with him, they just cut him.
Yeah, I agree with that in terms of the fact that they can't move him right now because he hurt, and you won't see Zion until 2026. But he's not the only other guy that the Pelicans are going to get rid of. I mean, we have these other guys here. We have 3 players here that even if we're not talking about Herb Jones, right? And I think before a lot of people was kind of locked on Herb, but I think the idea of trading Herb Jones because Sadiq Bey is doing what Herb Jones doing. I mean, he's literally outplaying Herb. Herb can't stay healthy. He's in and out of the lineup. He can't be counted on. And Herb was supposed to be back like what a couple of games ago, based on a lot of this stuff. But you don't hear any updates on these guys.
True. I'm still Jordan Poole has been doing basketball activities since the day before Thanksgiving. Q.
Which that's telling you, DC, that a lot of these guys are
December 4th.
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is obviously what's going on right here. You can if you look into
James Borrego say he ain't practiced with the team. It's like what's going on?
Well, the thing is, bro, what's interesting is Jordan Poole. If you looking at the motions, Jordan Poole, it appears he don't want to play for the Pelicans. That's what's going on. And he was brought in, and the reality is he came here because he was supposed to be a part of a triad of Zion, Poole, and Trey to lead the team forward. The team is 3-20 right now. They've obviously understood and known that it is an incredible. Hold on, it's an incredible hole that they would have to win at least 10 games to get relevant again. Like just go on a winning spree and win like 10 games in a row. This team can't even play 4 consistent quarters of football to earn a victory. They consistently allow stuff to slip through their hands. They have confidence issues. They have intelligence issues on what to do. And it's constant failure. And we know we got young players here, but there are 3 players that's on the Pelicans team, including Zion Williamson, that are worth more than $30 million a year. Jordan Poole has, like you said, I think Jordan Poole was pissed off at Willie Green when he set him on the bench because it's very interesting. Like DC, we know this, that most people, they didn't do that to CJ McCollum when he was making that kind of money, will not sit their $30 million player on the bench for... Right, but I get that, but I'm saying the money usually like what happened with Herb. The moment Herb is healthy, he gonna step in that starting lineup again. Why? Because Herb, the money talks, bullshit walks. He's making $13 million a year. The other guy's making less than half of what Herb's making, even though he's outplaying them. So the money talks. If you're paying your players that kind of money, as soon as they're healthy enough to play, they're gonna get back into the starting lineup because the money has to be justified. So for you to have a guy that making $30 million coming up off the bench, the only rationale is whoever the guy that he's ahead of, that's ahead of him, has to be making 30. You got DeJounte Murray, he making 30 million. So you got 3 players that are not even factors in helping you do anything, that are over $100 million worth of players that are all hurt. And it's obviously a pivot to what Joe's backup plan was, these phenomenal rookies. The plan is, okay, he knew this. He's like, okay, we're going to try Zion because we know that. He was going to give Zion a shot under his administration to see if he can make it work. He gave him some help, Poole, and you had Trey. DeJounte was obviously not going to be a factor because the season is pretty much going to be decided when January comes around with the Pelicans. If they'll be within 5 wins of, if they're above 500 or just below 500, then that's a different thing than a team that's 3-20. So I know Jordan Poole doesn't appear to want to play for the Pelicans anymore. They're not going to tell anybody that, but they could be soliciting a trade with Poole. They could be soliciting, will be once DeJounte Murray is healthy, and the same with Zion Williamson. They're pivoting away from these expensive players. They are. They're pivoting away. So they'll try to find a trade for Jordan and a trade for Murray and a trade for Zion once the time comes, whether they're this year or whether it's into the offseason. DC, some kind of way, they're going to find a way to get these players off of the team and try to flip them into picks or, resources or assets that fit what Fears and Trey and what Queen is about. That's what the philosophy is, to go with the young guys into the future. Why not? You got to make this lost time count for something. So this is what it is. If the Zion plan was like Zion's failed, DC, we Poole and all these other guys with Zion fails, that we pivot to the young guys. That's why we were so aggressive in the draft.
I think it's the Pelicans. I don't think it's Poole at all, because that don't make sense. Like, if you don't want to be here.
So is the Pelicans stopping Poole from playing?
Yeah. If you don't want to be here and you want to get traded, I think the best thing for you to do is to get on the court and ball out. You know who I think possibly might want to get traded? And nobody ain't thinking about Sadiq Bey. He playing and building up that value. Now, man, you can't tell me we pick up the phone right now. You get you a couple of seconds for Sadiq Bey. Like,
I wouldn't do it.
if he
I
want,
would.
no, I'm just saying, if the man want out of here, what you gonna do? He on a 1-year contract. We don't have no bird rights on him. If he want out of here, you gotta trade him. So my thing is with Poole is if he wants to, don't want to be here, don't want to play for him, I think he would be even more eager to get on the court and actually play. But the Pelicans are looking at Fears, man, and what he's doing. And like you said, you make a whole bunch of sense with that money. If you put Jordan Poole back out there, man, especially with the situation being as dire as it is very hard to try to talk yourself into benching him. And our defense is horrid, so it's almost impossible to consider playing Fears and Poole together, especially without Herb. So maybe Jordan Poole and Herb Jones is a package deal. Herb Jones come back, Poole ready, you roll them out there together. Or you just you're not gonna bring Fears to the bench. Poole can't go back to the bench. I think Poole was willing to go to the bench on a team that was actually winning. You know, the team fully stocked, fully healthy, with the capability of playing some meaningful minutes. Man, that man do not want to repeat what he was dealing with last year in Washington, right? Where you can't get on the court, not because you're not good enough, because they ain't want to win. And they got some younger guys and they're trying to see what they can do. So it's almost a similar situation to where he was, and I could see him wanting to be traded. But him, like, oh, I'm a milk the injury to not play. I don't know, man. It don't make sense for somebody who want to get out of here. You're on a $30 million contract. If you're not playing and showing what you can do, nobody gonna trade for you, and we can't cut him. So I think what Fears is doing is what's keeping them. Well, okay, Jordan, we're just gonna bring it back slow, and let's just they trying to see, man. We can't act like Fears is not getting better every game. Every game, man, he keeps getting better. He just keeps getting better and better. It's not contributing to wins, but he's actually improving. His 3-point shot is James Borrego was just saying in the pregame interview, he wants Fierce to shoot more threes because he's a very capable 3-point shooter. You see what he does out in transition. Everybody said he can't get assists. Well, the last 3-4 games, he had 4+ assists. So defensively, he's improving, although he still has a lot of lapses there. But he's going to get you some goddamn steals. So they looking at what he doing, man, and you can't a 19-year-old playing at the level he playing, man, and he's starting this, like you just can't go backwards on him and talking about taking him out the start lineup and putting him back on the bench. So I think that's what it is, Q. They may have to attempt to play him and Jordan together, but defensively, we can't do that shit. So watch when Herb come back. When Herb come back, Jordan come back, I was right.
Well, I mean, like I said, bro, I feel, the whole contention between where he was here. And like I said, you're right. I think Jordan Poole, once he does return, he might not be listed as a starter, but he'll be playing starter minutes. So, I mean, he'll be out there with 28, 30+ minutes, this sort of thing. He'll be playing in there because of the money and because of the fact that he can. Yeah, I think he can it because, like I said.
We're going to start Bryce McGowan's over Jordan Poole.
I think he'll get in there, even if they got to cut down somebody else to make Jordan Poole work. They're going to figure out a way to do it. I mean, it's nothing new. We've seen them do this before this season. when you have to figure out how you're going to get these guys on the court at the same time. Eventually, you will gain Jordan Poole back. Eventually, you will get Herb Jones back. Eventually, you'll get DeJounte Murray back. Eventually, because we're already in December. Hell, we got several weeks before Christmas roll around up in this piece, and before long, 2025 is going to be done with. We'll be looking 2026 in the face, and you'll have all these guys back, and then then we'll see what they do. So like I said, man, it's. I know for a fact that this whole Zion Williamson experiment is definitely over. I mean, it's he can't. It's just he's like the report we talked about Zion Williamson and how incredibly undeveloped his game is. It don't make any sense. It's unintelligent and lazy to me that he doesn't have a mid-range shot at this time. And he should know as a player that this is what you're supposed to do. And he making $39 million a year. We paying a guy $39 million, can't stay healthy, and he don't have a mid-range shot. He wants to run into the paint all the time and get beat up, fall on, knocked on his ass. DC say 8 to 10 times a game. I think it's more like 5, but I would give you that. He gets knocked down a lot of times in the game, and at some point, him hitting the floor that much is not good for him. And I would have thought that somebody around him would have figured out, hey, you know what? This guy gets knocked on his ass a lot lately, a lot during these games. Maybe we need to fix it where you need to learn how to shoot a mid-range shot because they're giving you 10 effing feet every time you get the ball. So maybe you need to take advantage of that. So
who
whether
was ever going to force him to do that when they
him, nobody
go to treatment.
Bro, I don't care about any of what you're talking about. He has to have that mindset. He's supposed to be a franchise player. That's three. We talk about 3-level scorers all the time, guys that impact 3 levels of the floor, whether it's offense or defense. This man is making $39 million a year. He is listed as the franchise player up until recently. Now he's not because he can't stay healthy as a side effect of him getting knocked down in the games. He's getting hurt not at the snack bar at his house. He's getting hurt in these games. That's the point where people ask the question. We talked about this before, and I hadn't heard this point from anybody. I kept saying, fam, he's getting hurt in the games. He's getting knocked down all these times in the game. And I'm like, why is this guy always running his ass over there when he knows that these guys are going to hit him and knock him down? And they're backing up and giving him 10 feet to shoot the damn ball. Why are you doing that? Why haven't all this time in 7 years you've been in the NBA? You don't have no side jobs. All you have to do is play basketball. People are they're paying you millions of dollars to dribble a ball and to develop. You have access to all kind of stuff. Whether you got a gym in your house, you can go down to the facility and work out and practice and everything. You don't have a job. You're not doing this shit part-time. This is what you do. And for you not to be there in year 7 and keep doing the same shit you was doing in year 1, that's unintelligent to me and lazy. Because that guy watched other players, even the Charles Barkleys or whoever he acknowledged as great players that played the forward position, whether it was Karl Malone, Derek Coleman, whoever you got. Them guys had a mid-range shot. Even Karl Malone, who was a brute, would pull up and take that 10, 15-foot shot. He would take that shot on your ass. He would take the shot. Barkley would take a shot. Hell, Barkley shot threes.
What about Shaq?
Shaq is not him. That's not the same, bro. Shaq ain't no Zion Williamson. Shaq was a center.
Shaq was Shaq, but
Shaq was Shaq. That's a bad comparison.
Shaq, Giannis, and Zion is probably the closest I've seen to being how dominant at least he was with the extra weight on, man. Like nobody really can stop him going downhill.
Yeah, but DC at the same time, we know that Shaq
like
played
the same Giannis shit, except he get hurt, man. He just can't sustain that.
Well, but the thing is, like, remember I talked about, you mentioned the Giannis thing. Some time ago, Giannis started realizing that to start developing the 3-point shot, Giannis shoots the 3 ball. And how did he get the 3 ball? Because some coach
got his ass kicked in the playoffs against Kawhi Leonard when Toronto won the championship that year. Remember?
Right. It told him what you had to do.
They walled up and forced him to shoot, and he couldn't hit that shit.
Yep. And what would happen the next summer?
That man worked on it. He fixed it, and then 2 or 3 years later, he won a championship.
remember we talked about this in the show, and I brought up the point, and I had the trivia question. Who did the Bucks bring in to help Giannis work that 3-point shot? Put it in the chat. Let me remember if y'all remember. We had this discussion
I
about
don't
this
remember.
situation.
I don't remember. Man.
Okay, you don't remember. Let's see if the family members do. We're gonna throw that to the family members. We talked about this a year ago when we had this same conversation about why Zion is undeveloped and why he doesn't have a shot. Like it is certain down, you dominate an area of the court, but you can't do nothing else. You know, you can't do. You don't have a mid range. They're not scared of you. They pack the paint against you. You gotta affect the game in multiple ways so that if they stop you one way, you can hit them with another way. This man is totally one dimensional. So who was the player? Let me see if the family members remember. Who was the guy that the Bucks head coach brought in to help the Giannis shoot 3-pointers? Let me see if y'all remember this. Because they probably, I don't know, this was a whiles ago. So I don't know if they're going to remember exactly who the coach was, or the man they brought in to help Giannis shoot those threes.
I mean, this is a Pelican show.
Still all these basketball people, DC, they watch other people now.
Yeah.
Just like you do. You know, you watch the Puerto Rican and the Jamaican national basketball teams all the time.
The Pelicans,
my bad.
The Pelicans then sucked all the love out the game from me, Brian.
My bad. I thought you was following the Jamaican national team. I thought you was kind of
follow none of that shit, man.
Okay, my bad.
I don't have a subscription or nothing. I can only watch the Pelicans. That's all.
Okay, my bad. I got some bad information. I thought you had the flag behind you. But anyway,
information. But
okay, so anyway, let's keep it going, man. The bottom line, DC is acting crazy again. But the reality is, let's see. I don't think they know.
Right there.
I don't think they realize. I don't think they know who it is. Okay, since the panel members like you, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember what. No, it wasn't Kyle Carver. No, Slim. Good call though. No, it was actually John Stockton.
Well, holy shit! They brought John Stockton.
They brought in John Stockton.
How did they pull that off, man?
That was who was
I
it?
ain't seen John Stockton since he retired.
It was Coach Bud. I think it was Coach Bud that reached out to John Stockton and brought John Stockton in there to help Giannis shoot them 3-pointers, to get him comfortable with shooting that three. John Stockton came in. There was actually footage and there's pictures online with him at the thing working with Giannis shooting those threes. He actually did that. See, that's what I was talking about when you have a leader and a coach that understands that you'll go as far as your superstar take you. And if he has an incredibly limited game, then you don't have any options. If Zion Williamson had a competent mid-range shot that he went to consistently, then you would see a lot. You would see him more on the court more, and it will open up things for people because it would draw people close to him. He has to hit enough of them shots to be respected. Them guys back off that man and give him that shot. That's what we covered this before. Y'all ain't remember that? We said that's in the shot when I showed the pictures of Stockton. And Coach Bud had Stockton in there working with Giannis shooting threes. So that's why I said about a good head coach that knows that he can go only as far as his superstar player can take him. And that he has to challenge. That's a coach's job, to challenge these players. Not sit up there and congratulate them when they're losing. You got to challenge these guys to do better and hold them up to accountability. If there are breakdowns happening and all this kind of stuff in the late moments of the game, that has to be called out. And if they don't fix it, then you have to move alignments around so it makes sure we solve this problem. We got to play 48 minutes of basketball, man. Not 3.5 quarters, but 4 full quarters of basketball, man. We have to be smarter than this other team or commit less errors than them to be able to win. And this is not what we're seeing every night. We're seeing this team fall down because of stupid errors, and they know it's coming. It's like, okay, we here it come, man. We got to adjust. We got to do this. So it's like a bad episode on a rerun, just keep happening over and over again. But good coaches challenge their players. They challenge them to do better. It might piss them off a little bit at the same time. Sometimes that's what has to happen. You can't be cool with all these guys all the time. You got to get under their skin sometimes. Shit, I love Coach Briggle. He never challenged me. Shit, you always congratulate me. Shit, I'm out here turning the ball over. I'm falling on my ass. I'm giving up a easy layup. Man, hell, I'm over committing to one side of the floor. Shit, I'm taking bad shots. And check her, Trey Murphy sometimes with these Trey, come on, bro. With these shots like 5 to 6 feet from the 3-point line when you ain't working, dog, chill out with that shit, man. Chill out with that. Chill out. We have to circulate the ball and be smarter, man. If you're going to hit shots like that, hit them in rhythm. If you're in rhythm, I get that. But these out of rhythm 6 to 7 foot shots from the 3-point line, man, let's cut that out. Coach got to challenge that shit. Like, dog, listen, bro, we got to cut this out, man. We got to circulate the ball. We got to play. We're not smart enough and good enough to be doing this type of nonsense, man. We have to lock in on this. And if that develops out of that, then we cool. But we have to stick to the fundamentals because we're not winning. We won 3 games. We got to stick to the fundamentals, man. We got to go back to basics. That's what the point is. You won 3 games and 23 tries. You got to go back to basics, man. You got it because you're doing something wrong. You're doing multiple things wrong. You got to go back to basics. That's what this man got to do, man. Now, congratulating players and losing efforts is a recipe for disaster. Look at your record. And I don't know what Borrego's record is since he took over the team, but it ain't good. But anyway, that's all I got, man.
Like,
DC, go ahead and close it down, bro.
1-11 or something like that.
I don't know what it is, and I'm not keeping track on it. All I know is that it stinks. And I'm just saying, fam, this is a children's game. These guys make a lot of money, right? They make a lot of money. And these coaches always come in with this stuff about congratulating these players and losing efforts. I didn't like it when Willie Green did it. I don't like it with Borrego doing it, even though he makes it sound better than Willie Green because Willie Green don't know what he's talking about. Borrego knows more basketball than him, but at the same time, you have to challenge these players, and what you're doing is not working. They still are not playing full 4 quarters of basketball. They're still committing too many errors when it matters. And we still, right now, we're on the 5-game losing streak. So whatever your impact on this team is, it's not good enough. It's still Willie Green-esque, even though you're smarter in explaining basketball than Willie Green is. It's still losing. You know, we have all these players hurt and all this bullshit, man. I'm just saying at the end of the day, there's an answer for everything, family. It really is. Every question has an answer. It really does. And we falling down in the clutch moments of the game is not cutting it. That's all I'm saying. DC, go ahead and put the cap on it, bro. We're going to get on out.
Go Pels.
All right, there you go. All right, so shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream for this one. We'll be back. The next matchup is against the Brooklyn Nets. That's what, a couple of days from now, DC. We'll I think it's on the 6th.
Saturday. So
it's on the 6th, 4 p.m. Tip-off time in Brooklyn.
Actually, it's 3:30 for us. 3 p.m.
Well, it's showing 4 o'clock here.
It's in Eastern. Oh, it's showing 4 o'clock, really? Okay.
It's showing 4 o'clock. Now, it might be that for you because you're in Jamaica right now. But for me here in the States, it's showing at 4 p.m.
You're making me crazy, man.
Okay, so with that being said, we can get ready to get out here. We appreciate all y'all for being in the stream. Y'all do us a service and smack upon that like button. That's right, Slim. Tell that dude. Go Pels, man. All right, so y'all do us a service. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We got to do better than this, man. The Pelican Nation, man, the faithful deserve better than what we seeing, man. This is horrendous, man. We got to get back on the winning side of things. Please, let's start against the 5-17 Brooklyn Nets, who are 1-2 at 1-10 in their own building. If this is not a medicine game, then I don't know what a medicine game is. We got to get well against the Brooklyn club. With that being said, I'm out. I'll let you on the next one. Much love, peace, and go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, the Pelicans forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, bunch launch a train. Swish. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO, you stay in the know.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description